Hi, you're listening to Light Lounge with Dimitri K, broadcasted from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida. Science fiction writers often provide imaginative answers to questions beginning with the word what. What technological developments might occur in the future, but in general, science fiction does not provide answers to the question of how. It usually provides no practical guidance as to just how some particular technological advance might be achieved. Scientists and engineers, by contrast, work to answer how, attempting to extend our knowledge of the laws of nature and to apply this knowledge creatively in new situations. In that reference, a book called Time Travel and Warp Drives by Alan Everett and Thomas Roman could give us a curious and scientific answer to the questions of what and how. Let me read a few paragraphs. It would seem that time travel into the past should be impossible outside the world of science fiction simply on the basis of ordinary common sense because of the paradoxes to which it seems to lead. These are typified by what is called the grandfather paradox. According to this scenario, were it possible to travel into the past, a time traveler could in principle murder his own grandfather before the birth of his mother. In this case, he would never be born, in which case he would never travel back in time to murder his grandfather, in which case he would be born and murder his grandfather, and so forever. In summary, the entrance of the grandson into the time machine prevents his entrance into the machine. Such paradoxical situations that involve logical contradictions are called inconsistent causal loops. But before we come to a conclusion on the time travel topic, let's see who are our guests tonight. From 510 Jazz, we have John Vargas here. Welcome to Light Lounge with Dimitri K. John.
Thank you very much, Dimitri. I'm so delighted to be here. We really appreciate your amazing support of independent artists, and we love your show.
Thank you, John. From your album, The Bossa Nova, let's start with a song called Hummingbird of Springtime.
Find me any weekend, lost in our garden. There's no better way to spend the springtime afternoon. From our little patio, gazing at the sky, clouds are moving America. May those warm winds carry you to where everything is blooming. Will you find the sweetness that your life needs? Through the autumn and the winter, as the winds of change will bring the rains that give this place new life. Through it all, I await the springtime breeze, here in a garden where the hummingbird calls home. Hummingbird of springtime, now you are living, flying to the warmth of Central America. May those warm winds carry you to where everything is blooming. Will you find the sweetness that your life needs? Hummingbird of springtime.
In previous broadcasts, our audience enjoyed your album January 16th, and not surprisingly, we are curious to listen to your 2020 album, The Bossa Nova. Tell us something more about it.
Well, Dimitri, as you know, my son David, our producer, engineer, and I are big fans of bossa nova music. That's the music that came from Brazil, starting in the 1950s all the way up until about 1970. And there's some amazing pioneers, people like Antonio Carlos Jobim, João Gilberto, Marcos Valle, so many others. And so our album, The Bossa Nova, is our own homage to that wonderful music from Brazil. It's quite timeless. We find it amazing that musicians are still playing bossa nova music even today in 2022. And most of those songs sound just as beautiful and just as relevant as the day when they were first released.
Bossa Nova is a signature and timeless music coming out of Brazil and brings beauty and sophistications to the listener ears. Tell us something more about the songs included and the musicians that brought them to light in the recording studio.
This album contains 4 songs with a classic bossa nova feel, 2 songs with an upbeat samba feel, and 1 spoken word tribute. And our songs explore a wide array of themes, from ballads that speak of the beauty of nature, to imagery of changing weather, to the meaning of home, and upbeat, fun glimpses of romance. As with our previous 2  510 Jazz album releases, we're proud to feature a wide array of stellar musicians from the Bay Area and beyond. My son David and I composed all of the songs on this album. Our album features Tony Song on guitar, Mark Rickey on piano, Po Soon Tang on drums, and Marty Honda on bass. Our featured soloists are Matthew Zamella on violin, Stan Muncy on vibes, Tom Povsey on flute, and John Lewis on saxophone, as well as Jenny Ball on Latin percussion. And our vocalists include Oshra Sidan, Matt Black, Maya Victoria, and Anna Konstantopoulos.
We're listening to Cult to the Sea.
the sun as it sets in the sea. All the sky is aglow. I can't imagine a calling from anywhere else, 'cause I'm called to the sea. Call to the sea, call to the sea. Yes, I call to the sea, call to the sea.
For the last 2 years, many businesses, including the music business, suffered. How difficult was it for you and the group?
From 2020 to 2021, 510 Jazz definitely had some difficulties in terms of getting performance gigs at venues around the Bay Area. And that was mostly because a lot of clubs, a lot of venues had restrictions or were closed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was definitely a tough time. It also made it tough for us to get together in our studio. Here at 4Play Records, at our 4Play studios here in Fremont, we always like to bring all the musicians here into our own studio and record all of our albums. We started working on this album before the COVID pandemic was really known, so we had much of the rhythm tracks already recorded, and we were able to get the solo instrumental musicians and the vocalists in the studio before really the March 2020 timeframe that most everyone identifies with the beginning of the COVID pandemic. So it was nice to have all of our stems ready to go. And then our producer engineer, David Vargas, spent several months working on getting all of these 7 songs engineered and mixed. And then we sent it off to our friend Sean at Audible Oddities in San Francisco to get the mastering done. But after we released that album, it became difficult to get performance gigs in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we had to rethink how we would bring musicians into the studio to record future releases.
Well, the last 2 years were difficult for most everybody, including the musicians, but I guess that prompts the idea of working remotely using the new technology. Isn't that true for you too?
As you alluded to in your question, we made some big changes on our 2021 and newer releases. Now most of what we're doing is working with studio musicians that have their own studios, and we collaborate electronically over the internet. They send us their stems, we audition them, we work with them remotely to make any updates, and then David brings them all into the studio for engineering and mixing before they go off to mastering. And so that's how everything went with our 2021 releases.
We're listening to Summer Rain.
kids dancing on the rooftop. Summer softly falls. Now the clouds are moving east. Since the storm has passed, I'm in my bed. Still hear it in the trees. I can't help wondering why. Thunder booming in the distance. See the far-off lightning. Feel the static in the air. It must be nature's way. Summer clears the air, clears the sky. It must be summer rain, summer rain, summer rain.
What's new on the creative horizon for 510 Jazz, John?
Toward the end of 2020, I started working on 2 new compositions, and I collaborated with guitarist, composer David Howard, and it was a wonderful experience working with him on these 2 new songs that we released in 2021. The first song that we released in the middle of 2021 was entitled Now There's No You and features the vocalist Veronica Timms. And then about a couple of months later, we released the song Jetstream, which is our first smooth jazz instrumental, also featuring Dave Howard on guitar. Both of those songs feature Dave Howard on guitar. They also feature Mark Rickey on piano, Alan Del Rosario on piano, Paul Davis on drums, Charlie Channel on bass, Michael J. Johnson on choral vocals, and D-Varg on rap. These songs are out now, and you can listen to them. Just go to our website, 510jazz.com/listen, and you can hear these and all of our other singles and album releases.
Very well, no matter what, the recording goes on.
And for 2022, David Vargas and I are composing some new songs. We expect to be releasing our first 2022 single in about 2 months. So probably in the June time, you'll be hearing from us. And we'll be featuring a brand new guitarist that you may not have heard of before, but a brilliant, skilled guitarist, along with a lot of our favorite Bay Area musicians in the rhythm section. So we're looking forward to that.
We're listening to Back Home.
Just 18 and thinking to myself, time to leave home. I can't help but wonder if I could have stayed. Though I As the years go speeding by, that place is now more distant. Building a new family and a whole new life. Though it's not so far from here, my heart tells me to stay away. Every day is calling me back home. Said goodbye, but it was not forever. I have found this place in my heart, but I had to go. It's a new dawn, and views are different now. It's today, on my way, time to go back home. After all this time, I have arrived, a faded ranch house. When I ring the doorbell, will they welcome me? Everyone's so glad I'm here, telling me their stories. Now I'm feeling life is good, good to be back home. Said goodbye, but it was not forever. I have felt this place in my heart, but I had to go. It's a new dawn, and views are different now. It's today, on my way, time to go back home. After all this time, I have arrived, faded ranch house. When I ring their doorbell, will they welcome me? Everyone's so glad I'm here, telling me their stories. Now I'm feeling life is good, good to be back home.
And now, from the listeners of Flight Lounge with Dimitri K, let's wish John Vargas and 510 Jazz success with the Bossa Nova album and many creative moments in 2022.
Thank you so much, Dimitri, for featuring 510 Jazz's songs on your superb show, Light Lounge with Dimitri K. We're blessed to be here, and we really, once again, really appreciate all that you do for independent artists around the world. And we wish you all the best success in 2022. Thank you.
Glad to have you on the show, John. And let's complete the interview with two more songs from 510 Jazz, the Bossa Nova album, Fatal Attraction and Summer Rain.
I like to take back roads. He likes the fast lane. Look at the stars and enjoy the fresh air. Every day brings a brand new rising sun. Why make it so hard? Relax and slow down. He's just an addict. Fatal attraction. No need to hurry. Good things in life are worth
attraction, fatal attraction. She doesn't go dancing, I must find some way.
He has to slow down and meet me halfway.
Can't go to bars, but there must be somewhere. That place where we can relax and have fun. One day we'll get there, but for the moment, can't kick this habit. Fatal attraction. Oh, fatal attraction, fatal attraction, attraction.
Summer rain on my roof. As I watch the raindrops fall, see the dark clouds drifting overhead. I'm swaying in the breeze, a rainbow lines the sky. Thunder booming in the distance, see the far-off lightning. Feel the static in the air, still I can't look away. Summer rain. A rain squall comes in with the onshore breeze. I sit on my lanai and listen to the song of the raindrops dancing on the rooftop. Summer Summer rain softly falls. Now the clouds are moving east. Since the storm has passed, I'm in my bed. Still hear it in the trees. I can't help wondering why. Thunder booming in the distance. See the far-off lightning. Feel the static in the air. It must be nature's way. Summer rain. Clears the air, clears the sky. It must be summer rain, summer rain, summer rain.
Life is better than listening to a commercial radio station playing endlessly a few resembling songs. If you feel that way, you came at the right place. Light Lounge with Dimitri K plays the best award winners and independent artists around the world. Before we continue with our next guest, let's go back for a minute to the topic at the beginning of the show, time travel. In that part, we found that traveling back in the past is not really scientifically possible due to the grandfather paradox, which opens the possibility that you may be able to kill your grandparent and as a consequence wouldn't be born. But the scientists also explore the possibility that it could be the law of physics are such that whenever you go to pull the trigger to kill your grandfather, something happened to prevent it. You slip on a banana peel. For example, would like to call this the banana peel mechanism. This theory is logically perfectly consistent. It is somewhat unappealing, however, because it is a little hard to understand how the laws of physics can always arrange to ensure the presence of a suitable banana peel.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Well, I wonder, why don't the scientists consider travel back in the past and meeting interesting people living then and getting some inspiration from them? From my studio, I made such an attempt and called it Moonlight Impression, dedicated to the genius of Ludwig van Beethoven. On the violin from Florida Lake Symphony, Konstantin Dimitrov. On the oboe from Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra, Jamie Straffler.
Hello, this is Eamonn Flynn, and you are listening to Light Lounge with Dimitri K.
Black Cuddle is the name of Eamonn's album, and he's going to tell us something more about it.
It's a blend of Irish traditional music and American funk and soul. I come from Dublin in Ireland, but I live in San Francisco, and over here in the States I've played with a bunch of great funk and soul musicians, so I asked a lot of them to join me, but also a lot of great Irish traditional musicians, and I hope you find this music interesting and as fun as we found it was to make it. We had a great time making this album, so I hope you like it, and enjoy. Cheers.
We're listening to Black Cuddle. Yeah, you're right. And a bunch of time.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If God doesn't get you, the devil must. The black soot that gathers and makes a crust on the cruddle that sits on fire. Tend to a room in a tenement flat. The white lady's burnt face and the scurry of rats. Oh, black cuddles in my soul. My mind goes walking down dark streets whose names have all changed. Sackville to O'Connell, Calpua from Greg Lane, where some fought for freedom, some gave up their lives. They were poets and teachers, shopkeepers, husbands and wives. But why did they die? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If God doesn't get you, the devil must. The black soot that gathers and makes a crust on the cotton that sits on fire. Even in thousands, on boats and on planes, when the city that bore you now turns you away. Oh, black cuddles in my soul. When I open my eyes, it's there in the face of the pale sun that's trying to rise, and the freedom they died for, and that they cherished and prayed to the priests and the bankers. We gave it away, but we'll win it someday. Ashes, dust to dust. If God doesn't get you, the devil must. The black soot that gathers and makes a crust on the cotton that sits on fire. Someday we'll take care of the ones in the street, sheltered in doorways and trying to sleep. Oh, black cuddles in my soul. Oh, black cuddles in my soul. Ruby lips, pale blue eyes, sinking ships, hypnotize. Afternoon feels summer in your eyes. Shady room, like a long lost friend. Shutters closed, light descends, and eyes that hide the storm inside the night. And if today is all we're due, I'm gonna stay right here with you. Yeah, you're right. 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 Darkness falls, slow and still. Thirsty lips drink their fill. We know we have to go, and soon we will. If we still believe it's true, I'll be waiting here for you. Yeah, you're right. 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 There's a streetcar rolling up St. Charles, and a bell that sings your name. There's a freight train running through the afternoon, taking all our pain away. And if it's only for a day, we're gonna let love have its way. Yeah, you're right. 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 Yeah, you're Come on, you maidens, young and fair. All you who are blooming in your prime, always beware. Keep your guarded face. Let no man steal away your time. For time, it is a precious thing. For time brings all things to my mind. Time with all its flavors, long with all its charms. Let no man steal away your time. Once I had never would decay. There came a lusty sailor, happened to chance along, and stole my bunch of time away. The sailor gave to me a rose, a rose that never would decay. He gave it to me to keep me reminded when he stole my time away. Come on, you maidens, young and fair. All of you who are blooming in your prime, always beware. Keep your garden fair. No man steal. Let no man steal. No man steal away your time. Let no man steal away.
Hi there, you are listening to The Light Lounge with Dimitri K. My name is Michele Osten, and we are going to be playing my new tune called Lazy Days, written by Clive Knapp. Hope you enjoy it.
Hear the hustle of the city below, burning essence and a warm cup of joe. Last reminder I should take it slow, living for these lazy days. Lazy days, so good, never doing the things I should. Lazy days, feeling fine, got a lazy day on my mind. Lost my job, lost my car, never traveling very far. Got my channel on a YouTube screen. Lazy days is where I've been. Lazy days, so good, never doing things I should. Lazy days, feeling fine, I got the lazy days on my mind. Doesn't matter what they say or do, they won't take the music away. My girl like watch the sunset and the city sleeps. Selling stories, they're going cheap. 9 to 5 always passes in a haze, singing stories of my lazy days. Lazy days, so good. Never doing the things I should. Lazy days, feeling so fine. I got the lazy day on my mind.
You're listening to Light Lounge with Dimitri K. It's time to say goodbye. And remember, hesitation is temporary, music lasts forever. Most of the artists you heard on this show are independent artists. And if you like some of them, you can Google the name and find them on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and the rest of the digital media, and that would be a great support for them. For any comments, suggestions, and feedback, please email me at kopublishing@gmail.com. I'm Dimitri K, broadcasting from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Hey John, is that the blue cat you're talking about?